Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Between the Stitches. As always, I'm your host, Brady Wilson. Remember to say my name this time. And with my co-host, Chase Allschwinger.
What's going on?
We are back after a 2-week and 1-day hiatus. We were going to be here over spring break, and there was just some confusion over where the studio was open, and we would have both had to have driven up for, well, we don't want to drive up, and then it's closed. So we just took, we missed some things, but we'll catch up with it right now. The Dallas Stars have been doing a lot of things. I probably have this wrong because I just realized that I did both of these as if we'd done one last week. So this is just the last couple games for each team, just so bear with it. Stars are 42, 19, and 9. Third in the Central, fourth in the West, which, that's fine. I still think we're the best team in the West. I know we've won 2 against the Kings in Arizona and face Pittsburgh tomorrow at 7. This has just been a great run for the Stars. I mean, I forget, it's Tanev, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tanev has just slid in really well into the lineup. Sagan's back, scored in his first game back last night. Just everything's working. And then you have Stankoven and Johnston. Everything is just working so beautifully.
You're right
now.
Yeah.
And you don't have any big injuries. Ottinger's struggling a little bit, but he's talked about it. Hey, I'm not worried about it. And it has been a lot of fun to watch this Dallas Stars hockey team play, just beat everybody.
I know, like you said, there should be no concern about being, third in the Central or fourth in the West. Right. I mean, if we truly believe that the Stars can compete with anybody in the NHL, all that matters is that you get in, right? And once you get in, your run can, it can be magical.
And I want to see us get in with the top 4 because then you're home field, I think, or home ice.
Home ice, yeah.
So. Yeah, I like our chance in the playoffs, especially if we have, the home cooking, and I think we're a really good hockey team that's just playing really well right now. And, Nil saw he needed something, and credit to him because he took advantage of rookie GM in Calgary and traded virtually nothing of value to us for a guy that it could provide a lot of value to us.
Exactly.
And could stay here long term. Mm-hmm. You never know. He may really like it here in Dallas. It is very possible. A lot of players do. But not much else in hockey other than the Stars just plugging away.
Keep rolling.
Then you got the Mavs. The disappointment of, no, that's the Cowboys. The Mavs are 40 and 29, 7th in the West, 2-game winning streak against the Nuggets and the Spurs. Beat the Spurs last night? Or was it 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
You got the Jazz tonight at home at 7:30. Hopefully, we just keep it going. I mean, Kyrie, you got to talk about that. You were there.
I was there, and it was unbelievable. I have it all on video and great seats. It was an unbelievable experience. And I was, not just that, his shot, the craziness of that shot, but just the game in general was just an awesome game. Holding the defending champions to 105 points is very impressive. And it's shown over the last few games that the defense is really stepping up. And it's really showing with the new additions and just everybody meshing together that the defense is really there. And this team, we're not used to seeing like, oh, wow, we can actually rely on our defense maybe to help win us the games because we haven't been scoring 130 every game. We're putting up like 110 and winning these games. So you'd love to see that when the offense is one of the deadliest in the league, and then being able to rely on the defense to get some stops as well is a good luxury.
I feel like with this team, it feels like the Rangers, where they're streaky. There's hills and there's valleys and there's the highs and the lows, and this team is really streaky. It feels like. Where we come in here one week and it's, hey, we're rolling right now. We're going to keep this going. And then the next week it's, well, that didn't go as planned. We've lost several games. And, it feels like this team is every week, the dynamic and the narrative of how good they are is changing. I think me and you both are the same opinion here, and it's just get in. Just get in, and then you give yourself a chance from there.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's all on you.
Yeah, with the Mavs situation right now, they have a really big series next week versus the Kings, double header. Well, not doubleheader, like back-to-back games in Sacramento.
Both in Sacramento.
So, and they're the 6th seed right now, and we're tied. They have a half game on us.
So you need to win.
So
both.
you gotta win one for sure because they're in Sacramento. You can't go in there with expectations winning both, right?
You want to
against a good team in Sacramento both times. You want to take one. You take one. You live with that.
I will say, as a basketball fan, I'm happy that they're good just because Sacramento fans have been so tortured.
Yeah.
I am happy they're good. But
so, I personally, just out of how everything is right now, I think the Mavs could end up, 5 would be a stretch because the Pelicans are rolling. They're playing really well with I think they have 2.5 to 3 games on us. So I think the ceiling is the 5 seed. If they find a way to get hot, Pelicans lose some games. And I think the floor is probably the 8 or 9, I'd say. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can, land a 6 seed. 6 seed's, what we're looking for right now, because that's a guaranteed playoff spot. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think they're going to have a good shot. I mean, they're definitely putting themselves in position for it.
Just everyone needs to stay healthy. That's the key, because when the team stays healthy, there's depth, there's talent. That's all you need.
And we do have some March Madness happening right now. I think right here we had, who was this? This was
Wagner versus North Carolina.
Is that who we are?
Yeah.
Not that this is the first year I had to do a bracket just because I didn't have time. Drafts, it's just taking up a lot of time. But March Madness is always a fun time of the year. I've always found it funny it's March Madness, but I feel like a lot of it takes place in April.
Yeah, right.
But the March Madness sounds
it would be weird if it was April Madness, right?
Yeah, April Madness, that doesn't sound right. We got Morehead State versus Illinois.
3-point game.
I'd like to meet the fraternities at Morehead State just because, oh boy. But March Madness is happening, which is cool. That's always a great time for college. It's the only time I hate to admit this is the only time I actually sit and watch college basketball. Not because I don't like it, but just because there's
other stuff going on.
There's so many other sports to watch and follow that I usually follow on SportsCenter and stuff like that. But now, if there's nothing else in basketball, which I don't think, Mavs just kind of the same thing, keep plugging away.
Keep rolling.
Got baseball. Next week we are going to do our predictions. I felt like I was pretty good when we reviewed that 2 weeks ago. And opening day is a week from today, because today is Thursday. This is, a day late on the recording. But, yeah, I have my ticket. I think I paid more for that than the LCS ticket, which is really sucky, because I'm mad at the Rangers. What they did was they did a really sleazy thing with the opening day tickets. So at least because for the Rangers insiders, sorry,
no, you're fine.
might hit my foot. For the Rangers insiders, I was like, cool, I'm an insider. You just register with your email. For some reason, they didn't send me the access code. It never worked. I don't know why. It didn't really matter. But if you did have the access code, not only did you have to buy an opening day ticket, but you had to buy a package of 5 other games and an opening day ticket, which I don't like, because to me that prices out the people that just wanted to buy opening day.
Did you ever check on SeatGeek or Ticketmaster?
That's what I did.
Oh,
with
okay.
the SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did get a really good seat, section 109.
Nice.
So I will bring my glove, because I think that was the section I caught the ball from Leote last year. But yeah, opening day is gonna be great. We know our starter. It is Nasty Nathan Eovaldi. He is gonna be our opening starter against Justin Steele, who is a pretty formidable guy in his own right for the Cubs. But yeah, that'll be next week. Open day predictions, what I think, awards, season. I really won't do power rankings, because I realized last year that I don't do power rankings during the season. So it doesn't really matter. But I'll have my record prediction, and I always say it's plus or minus 5. Is what I do. Because baseball's so,
everybody's going to lose, everybody's going to win.
Yeah. The thing was rewatching, because I just like to rewatch it, usually in the offseason, Ken Burns' baseball docuseries, and George Will was on there, and he was talking about how people say the season's too long. And here's why it's not. Because the best teams are going to win at least a third of their games, but so are the worst teams. And the best teams are going to lose a third of their games, and so are the worst teams. The fight is over that middle third of the season. And I'm like, well, that's true. That is very true, that it is a fight over the middle third, which is 54 games. That is how you split it up. So really, it feels like kind of a 54-game season almost to a lot of teams. But it is now my time again to remind everybody, the Rangers are the reigning, defending World Series champions. Again, every week until a new champion is crowned, we'll be saying that. And the season got underway 2 nights ago, 2 mornings ago. I have not watched them because, ironically, trying to get on better sleep. If this had been a week ago, it had been right on my sleep schedule, 5:30. But I'm trying to do better, and so they missed my sleep schedule. They are in Seoul, South Korea. It's the Padres and the Dodgers. Dodgers, they split. So Dodgers took one. Here's why I don't like this.
There's only 2 games?
Yeah, there's only 2 games.
Okay.
And here's why I hate this series. It wasn't spring training.
Yeah.
Make it a spring training series. Make it a 5-game series. It's spring training, but give a little trophy at the end. You won the Seoul series. Cool, right? And the reason I say this is because now these 2 teams are going to come back, play a few more spring training games, then start opening day. So thankfully they split. Because if the Dodgers had won both, or the Padres had won both, and the division for some reason comes down to those two teams, and it's won by one game, you know they're going to be B-wording about that Soul Series being before everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm just happy there were no injuries, because that would have sucked.
Yeah.
A guy wasn't ready or whatever.
Correct.
But some more interesting, Yamamoto got shelled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he got murdered. Didn't make it to the first inning. So, man, dodged a bullet there. But that wasn't the big news that came out of Seoul yesterday. That was a little bit different news. Shohei Ohtani is caught up in a scandal. I have on here Shohei Ohtani equals Pete Rose. Just as a joke. I'm waiting for more information to come out before I completely villainize him, right? It sounds like there's a few stories, and it's kind of which one do you believe? One story, the story I'm tending to believe is this. Ippei spent a lot of money, and Shohei bailed him out. Like, here, I'm cutting you a check for this much money. Don't ever do it again, right? And then when he said, when it got leaked that Shohei gave him money for gambling, his attorneys realized how bad that would look, and they made him change the story. It's not a good look. It's attorneys being attorneys is what it sounds like, which is, they can be a little sleazy sometimes. I don't believe Shohei is stupid enough to gamble, especially on baseball or other sports. I just don't. He does not strike me as the type of guy that would do that, right? Neither would Ippei, I guess. But, I mean, he had the best job in the world. Be Shohei Ohtani's best friend and interpret interpret English to Japanese and Japanese to English.
Yep.
And he screwed it all up for gambling. And it sounds like he's one of those, came to America, didn't probably know what gambling was. Oh, I'll try it, and then got hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose $4.5 million, you got a bit of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
There are some rumors that say he stole the money. I think that's far-fetched because, first of all, how would Ohtani not realize there's $4.5 million out of his account missing? And number two, why does his interpreter have access to it?
Yeah.
I understand his wife. I understand his... By the way, it's been really funny because they showed his wife several times, and all of the women, and everyone's already going, uh-oh, baseball's got its Taylor Swift now. But his wife may have access to it, right? His agent may have access to it because agents, they may need access to it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe his lawyers. That's it. It's all that should have access to his bank accounts, in my opinion. I mean, I don't care if he's your best friend. Why does he have access to your bank accounts? I don't think he would. So I don't think he stole money. I am tending to believe Shohei's a nice guy and bailed him out, and it got leaked, and they didn't want it to get leaked, and now they're backpedaling.
Could be.
It's a crazy situation because if Shohei bet on baseball or bet on any sports, there is a cardinal rule in baseball. And it has been the cardinal rule of baseball since 1920. Do not bet on baseball. It has been the rule for over 100 years now. Any player who gambles on baseball is banned. Any player who knows about another player gambling and does not tell anybody, that's the one I'm hoping they don't get him on. Because he's an interpreter. He works for the team. Are they going to interpret that as any team employee? Because if they can, just think they won't because I don't want to ban him. But I was calling my dad about the news he hadn't heard. And I was talking what's a worse look? So I'll ask you, what's a worse look for baseball? It comes out that Shohei did gamble and they don't suspend him because they didn't want to. Or they do suspend him and baseball is hurt because Shohei is not in the game anymore.
I think if baseball did not suspend him,
that'd be worse.
That would be worse.
I agree because then it would
show that the MLB is just desperate for views because Ohtani's going to bring in views from Japan, from everyone from everywhere, right? If he's not playing, you're losing everyone in Japan. They don't care if he's not playing.
No, they care to a degree because they're still Yu Darvish,
sure,
Ha-Seong Kim. There'll always be eyes to watch because they just love baseball.
Listen, I agree, but I think if
the international popularity will definitely go down.
I think if you did ban him, that would be the right thing.
Maybe
yes, it might hurt their stocks,
yes.
Right? And that sucks. But you can't just let somebody, no matter who it is, get away with something like it.
Maybe they'll do what David Stearns did. Make him go play basketball for 18 months and then let him back in. No, but I don't think he gambled. I'm willing to believe that he didn't use him as a proxy or whatever. If there's no rule against a friend bailing out another friend for gambling, that's where the line is. Did Shohei place any bets? If that's the case, oh boy, then this is bigger than Pete Rose, because Pete Rose, the only thing he lost was the chance to go to the Hall of Fame. He's a manager at that point.
Yeah.
I think this is as bad as Shoeless Joe Jackson and Buck Weaver and those guys on the Black Sox, because they lost the prime of their careers and the chance to go to the Hall of Fame, and Shohei would do the same. So yeah, it would definitely be very, 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 very bad for baseball if Shohei was out. Hopefully he was not stupid enough to do it. I don't think he was, but we'll wait and see. But this is definitely becoming a humongous story.
Yeah.
I saw the Angels fans going, "Hey, Artie Moreno was doing it too. Suspend him. Get rid of him." But yeah, definitely an interesting turn of events, and definitely very interesting. And I feel very bad for Ohtani just because you don't want to be caught up in this,
No,
right?
of course not. If he really is innocent, then unnecessary drama.
Yeah, and he seems like a man that likes to be private, and now you're anything but private, right? Because of this story. Hey, our system is working. Blake Snell signed. That's what's key here. 2 years, $62 million to the Giants with an opt after this year. The classic Boris deal for this year, it feels like. So hey, the Giants have him and Webb are that's a nasty one, and Robbie Ray. They got him from the Mariners, so that's a nasty 1-2-3 punch. And they got Soler. They're a good team. They went from a fringe playoff team to Chapman. They went from a fringe playoff team to hard to leave them out of the wild card. You know what I mean? At this point, Bob Melvin's a great manager. I think San Diego's just a toxic place right now. But yeah, he signed. Montgomery signed, but the Rangers did sign a starter last night. Bombshell news. You dropped this for me. I didn't see it. I just saw C.Y. Lorenzen. No way.
That's what I texted. Yeah.
Go right to Twitter.
It was. I got the tweet from Rosenthal.
1 year, $4.5 million for a guy that's a good number 3.
Threw a no-hitter.
I'll take it.
In his first,
he was bad for Philadelphia.
In his first start with Philly, he threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, but his ERA was over 5 for them, so he wasn't the best. He's moved to the bullpen, once, but a lot of the starters moved to the deadline really did not pan out. Flaherty did not pan out. Lorenzen did, but remind me, who were the two that really did pan out? Oh, that's right, Montgomery and Scherzer.
Yeah.
And one team got both of them. I wonder who that team was. But Lorenzen's a great signing. It's a cheap prove-it deal to just get him in the next offseason, right? Worst case scenario, you move in the bullpen. I think best case scenario, he becomes that other guy when Malley and DeGrom and Scherzer come back.
Yeah, I saw a post, showing the Rangers' fully healthy lineup.
I saw that, yeah.
And it's DeGrom, Evaldi, Scherzer, you got Molly, you got Gray, you got Heaney, you got Dunning, you got Lorenzen. There's a lot of options. And yes, it sucks not having Montgomery, but if you have everyone healthy, you have multiple options, and it's not it's not the worst thing possible.
Your bullpen's going to be half starters.
Right.
Gray, Dunning, and Heaney are all going to go to the bullpen. And I think that people are they going to want to go to the bullpen? Yes. They went to the bullpen last year, and we won the World Series. I think all of them would be honored to go to the bullpen. Just because, yeah, you want to win that World Series. You want to win another one. And, yeah. Say Malley had a really good season last year before he got in. He had 5 starts, was pretty good, was pretty solid in Cincinnati. Just a good pitcher. Yeah, Tyler Malley, if you don't know who he is, we signed him coming off Tommy John, so we'll see how effective he can be. Yeah, we have a lot of really good options at starter once we get in the season. I think Lorenzen provides some stability. Mm-hmm. You need a depth. I think right now, if somebody got hurt, Jose Urania was your next guy up if he decides to go to AAA and doesn't want to opt out of his contract, right? And then at that point, your depth is Owen White and I don't know. Like, you are looking at definitely, but now Bradford can go to the bullpen. Someone gets hurt, oh no, Bradford steps in. Right? It's a good depth move so that you're not screwed until Scherzer gets back. Then Scherzer gets back, and then you can push someone else to the bullpen, right? So, be interesting to see what they do. But, hey, adding a good pitcher is always a good thing. It was just completely out of left field, Usually you hear a team's interested in this guy. It was just, nope, they're signing Lorenzen. And I heard something from Evan Grant that apparently ownership was in camp last couple of days, and that so maybe it sounds like CY had a meeting and was like, "Look, I get you like your money, but you want to win another ring? I need some money."
Listen, I'll take $4.5 million.
I'll take that, and it does mean that Montgomery's probably not coming back, which I cannot lie, that hurts. But hey, I mean, who's to say that he hasn't signed a 1-year deal and you sign him next offseason? You know what I mean? Like,
figure out the TV deal. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to do that, though.
Well, I don't know, and we'll see what happens. But he was great for the half season that we had him. He was the 1-2 punch that we had in the postseason that drove us until we got Scherzer back. And then, I mean, yeah, we don't win without him, especially in that really rough stretch where him and Scherzer were felt like our only two good pitchers because Evaldi was hurt and everybody was freaking hurt.
Yeah.
And then we get to the postseason, he wins game 1 of the wild card series, sets the tone with that awesome catch.
Versus the Rays, yeah.
Game 2 of the ALDS, we had him. He got rocked, but our offense put up 11 runs. And then he won game, completely outdueled Justin Verlander in the playoffs, right? Just made Yordan Alvarez look like a you-know-what. And then, so he won game 1, and then he started game 5. That's right. So he was instrumental in our playoff wins. Unfortunately, he got shelled in game 2 of the World Series, but if you noticed, his velocity was down. He was tired. He was gassed. He didn't have much left.
And that was his last performance.
And then the big relief performance in game 7 when Scherzer goes down. Not goes down, when Scherzer
when you knew what you were
reached his limit.
You were going to give Scherzer 3 innings.
Reached his limit in that game. But I want him to go to Boston because I don't want to see him in the Yankees. I don't, because I'll root for him. Everyone on that team will always be rooted for here in DFW.
He shouldn't want to go to New York. They counted him out. They said that he was not a playoff pitcher.
That's why I wouldn't want to go. Why would I want to go somewhere where they went one time? It's kind of like the whole, you broke up with somebody, or someone broke up with you, and then you had to glow up.
And then,
and then they're like,
switch up.
Oh, wait a second. Now I really love you.
Right,
and it's
right.
If I was him, I'd be, screw you. No, I don't. To hell with you. You can have fun. I want to go to... I think Boston makes sense because they just need a guy. They need a starter. They need somebody. They're not going to win games, but they just need a guy. I really think he wants to come back here. I think that's why he hasn't signed. I think he hasn't signed because he wants to be here. But unfortunately, the money's just not working. So, I mean, if we sign him, my God, our rotation...
what would we even sign? 1 year, $10 million?
I feel like they would give him... I feel like CY would offer $250. A little bit less than what Snell got.
No, of course. I'm talking... Yeah, that's for a shorter deal. But if we were going to give him a 1 year deal and hopefully all the TV deals work out...
15, 20 mil, probably.
Okay. Just a 1 year deal. Okay.
15 to 20 million, probably. Probably around what a qualifying offer would be. Which I really wish we had offered him in the qualifying offer now. I really wish we had offered him that qualifying offer. Who did we offer that to anybody? Garver. We offered it to Garver. That's right. Did we? I'm blanking. I can't remember. Anyway.
I don't know.
The Rangers, Lorenzen, it's a great signing. Definitely out of left field, but very, very happy about it. It just kind of shocked me. I'm so
when I saw the notification, I was like,
oh yeah, he's on our team.
Didn't even know we were pursuing him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Happy about it. That's it for baseball, really. Now we got to talk about something that's going to anger us both. So I'm going to have to keep my blood pressure down. I may need...
I can talk if you need me to.
And then we're going to do a mock draft, our second mock draft of the season, to just, have a nice, calm way to end it on today's episode. But gotta talk about the Cowboys. Let's see.
Eric Hendricks.
Cue the sound of silence music.
Eric Hendricks, good. Cool.
Okay, so you're starting off with the one positive thing that's happened.
Yes.
Eric Hendricks. Oh, yeah, 2 comp picks. That's also cool. I'm just going to wait for effect. And then, let's see what else happens. See, Tyron Smith, he's gone because I can't cuss. I really want to, but I can't because I don't want to get kicked off. The podcast kicked off because you're cheap A's. That's what I'm going for. And you let Hankins go. Hankins walks, and Tyron Smith walks, and everybody walks, and Gallup's gone, and just, oh my gosh. Chase, I don't know, dude. It's so frustrating.
Listen, the Van Der Esch.
It's making me
sad.
It's making me. Oh yeah, Van Der Esch. Well, we knew that.
Gallup.
It's making me not like football. I'm not usually I'm energized for the draft right now. I'm doing it, but they're killing my football spirit. I can't be excited because like we're too good to rebuild. We are. Parsons, Lamb, Dak, Bland, Diggs, Smith, Martin. I mean, we have too many good players, too many all-pro players to just stop. But they're not willing to do anything to keep the team together and keep good pieces here. And I guarantee you, they think that Overshown and Diggs are additions. I guarantee you they think this. Oh, well, we're getting them back from injury, so those are additions. No, they're not. That's not how additions work. You're just getting the same player back.
Mm-hmm.
Kendricks is cool. You know they re-sign Rico Dowdle. Cool. Now you have 2 running backs on the roster. Yay. But you have like 9 holes on your roster and 7 picks. The math is not mathing. You're going to have to sign some outside free agents, and they usually do hit on their UDFAs, which is, it's why I'm not completely despair, because they usually hit on their draft, and they usually hit on their undrafted free agents. At least in 1 or 2. But, like, put effort to retain your player. That's what's frustrating. I'm not frustrated about the lack of free agency moves. I am more frustrated by the lack of retaining your own talent.
I agree.
Which is something they've always done. But this year, they're not. And it's frustrating. And they could have created a cap. They could have. They could have created a lot of cap space, but they decided not to because Dak, and they're blaming Dak. And if I was Dak, I would leave. And I'm about to be a Texans fan if they keep this freaking up. I will. I do not hate Houston sport. I hate the Astros. I'll be a Texans fan. They actually do things. They care. I mean, their owner's kind of a weirdo, but he cares. Yeah. My team's had more paternity suits. My team's had more lawsuits than free agency additions this offseason, everybody. I'm not kidding. Dak's lawsuit. Jerry's had like 3 or 4, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dan Snyder has the record, but I think Jerry's approaching that record for most lawsuits by an owner in NFL history. I don't know. Al Davis has probably got that record, now that I think about it. Anyway, yeah, there's as many paternity suits as free agency acquisitions. Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
Isn't football fun, everybody?
I'm not even upset at what we've decided to do. Letting some people walk.
Dorrance walking, fine. Beata's walking, fine.
I mean, look at the money they got.
Pollard going.
Good for them.
Bye.
Right. Van Der Esch, unfortunately, having to retire, but he's not on the field. Gallup, not the same anymore. Tyron, not on the field, but you could have retained. I'm upset about Tyron.
The Tyron one pisses me off because you figured out a way to keep him on the field. Don't practice him. He doesn't need to. He's been in this league for a lot of years. He does not need to practice. Right? His rookie year, the Rangers were in the World Series. He's been here that long, right? So he doesn't need to practice. He's fine. And so you figure out a way to... And then Hankins leaving really is a problem because who's playing interior? Mozzie, okay. Osa can't run defend because he's undersized for that position. He's undersized because it helps him in the pass game, but it kills him in the run game. Gallimore's gone. Who's playing interior for you? Nobody. I'm gonna go try out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on the pads.
Open tryouts.
I mean, it is frustrating because you do not have enough assets to plug the holes in the draft that you have. If they let Gilmore walk, there will be holes in my wall.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot let him walk.
He said that he wants to come back, but the Patriots, I think, are back.
And there it is. He wants to come back. Tyron wants to come back. Hankins wants to come back. And you refuse to pay them. I'm sorry if that was loud in everybody's earphones, but you refuse to pay your own players who helped you. I rarely say this because like you hear a lot of the guys, right? A lot of the stereotypical, like, dude, I can do that, right? So that's why I refrain from doing that because I think me and you both, we refrain from doing it because we understand that what it takes to play at that level. I could do a better job in this front office, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I think a lot of people could do a better job in this front office. And I don't mean that like, I could do, no, I legitimately think I could do better. In the draft department, no, but I had to leave it to Will McClay. So yes, I would do better because I have Will McClay still. I could do better in the offseason. Extend Dak because you're not going to find a better quarterback because you're going to be so bad to get one. And even then, name one in college football you'd like right now. Do you know where they all are?
Quinn Ewers.
No. You know where they all are? This draft. This one right here.
Quinn Ewers.
He's been too injury prone. I want to see him for a full season. Haven't yet. There's nobody. There's nobody in college football that I'm like, Arch. Oh, Jerry will have a. I don't know if I can say that. We'll have a love affair to draft Arch Manning. Chase
Not me to pull my microphone
Chase
out.
just pulled his microphone off, so off the little stance. Now he's.
Now I'm holding it like I'm a singer.
Yeah, he's singing now. Yeah, it's frustrating to be a Cowboys fan right now. Yeah. But the Rangers are doing things, and the Stars are doing things, and hell, even the Mavericks are doing things. And I hope so much that the Mavs and the Stars all three win one, or both win one.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And you know why? Not just because it'd be great to see our teams win one. You know why? Because then that would mean that that three DFW teams won a championship in the same season, except one. One. The Cowboys. The prestigious one. The problem is I don't know if... I used to think that Jerry wanted to win and would get frustrated if they weren't the winners. But now, I don't know. Would that even bother him? Or would he be laughing all the way to the bank? Right? So...
It's frustrating to even think about.
Okay, this is therapy right here. This is my therapy, right? And it's free. This is my therapy, talking it out through a microphone. Now we're going to go to the draft. Mock draft number 2. To make ourselves feel better about our team.
You just want to go first, and I'll just give you my pick after?
I think our first 5 are all the same.
We'll see.
I have Williams for the Bears.
I have Williams for the Bears.
I won't do an explanation for every single pick. I have my reservations about Williams. I'll give a quick synopsis, like a quick little overview. I like Williams, second best player in the draft, behind MHJ, but I have concerns. My player comp is 3. He looks like Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, and Johnny Manziel all rolled into one quarterback. You know what I mean?
There's some good and some bad in that.
Number 2, Drake May.
Number 2, Drake May.
Justin Herbert, Justin Herbert needs some time to develop. What frustrates me about this pick is that they traded Howell. So who's going to start if they don't want to start May, right?
Yeah, putting May into a starting situation. I mean, it worked with Stroud. I mean...
Oh, I do have a small announcement about the draft real quick. I did preview our studio. We'll be in an actual studio this time, not the one we have right here, a TV-level studio where people can call in. So if you'd like to call into the show, I will probably display my phone number to people that want to call in. That'd be interesting. Yeah, so that'll be interesting for the drafts. We have a draft show. So Seth's, if you watched last year's draft show, Seth, my roommate, he's in the fraternity with Chase. He, does a little bit of football. He's a Patriots fan, so if you don't know who he is, but this makes Seth very happy. I have Daniels going to the Patriots.
I as well have Jaden Daniels going to the Patriots.
He's the most pro-ready quarterback of them all. He is Jim McMahon. He is Randall Cunningham's athleticism with Jim McMahon's toughness.
Yeah, I see it.
The best player in college football and the best player in the draft. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes number 4 to the Cardinals, and they could not get that. I think they'll take 2 seconds. I think they're going to be, all right, 10 minutes. 9:59, 9:58. Oh, the pick is in. They could not write that fast enough.
I also have MHJ to the Cardinals. 4 for 4 right now together.
Chargers, 5. Need receiver. Traded away receiver. Lost both of your starters. What I think is interesting is they've lost both their receivers, but they drafted one last year. And the reason Odunze is not here is not because he's not better, although I don't think he's better than this guy. They have Johnson, who's the big physical X. They need the speedy yak kind of guy. And that is Malik Neighbors from LSU. Just a wonderful, wonderful athlete. And after the catch is one of the best in this draft. I'm trying to remember who has my player comp. But who'd you have?
I also have Malik Neighbors to the Chargers.
That's right.
I think it only makes sense. I think, losing Allen to the Bears, releasing Mike Williams, and him signing with the Jets, I think it only makes sense. I had them originally going to go Brock Bowers. Right. And I think he was the only team that, in the first however many picks, that really made sense for them to give Herbert another weapon. The tight end position was the only one, lacking with, Gerald Everett as your starter. And I think that Bowers would have been a great fit, but now Neighbors.
Yeah, they need receiver, and my player comp from CeeDee Lamb. So there you go. It's a pretty good comp for Neighbors. 6, I'm doing this only because I think they would do it. I think they're dumb enough. J.J. McCarthy to the Giants at 6.
I also have J.J. McCarthy to the Giants at 6.
McCarthy is a second-round quarterback. He is Brock Purdy. He is a game manager. He is good, but he's not great. There you go. There's your synopsis.
I agree with you.
Titans, Brock Bowers, need an offensive weapon for Levis. I think he fits here. Although I think it'd be funny if the Falcons took him and had the greatest tight end duo since Gronk and Aaron Hernandez with Bowers and Kyle Pitts. Just run that 2011 Patriots offense, the two tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
I assume who'd you have?
I had Joe Alt.
You had Alt there. That's fair because Skoronski, they moved into guard. So I think that's probably where Alt's going to go, but I thought Bowers fit a little better here.
That's sure. Yeah. Our first disagreement, though.
8, here comes another one because I know you have. I have Kenyon Mitchell. I think they're going to kick Phillips into the slot, and they're going to have Mitchell on the outside. I think he is a great pairing with Terrell. They don't have too many needs on this football team. I think corner is one of the few that they could address. And you had?
I had Dallas Turner. Like you said, there's not a lot of holes that need to be filled. And I think they've had their eye on Dallas Turner for a long time. He's got a lot of talent.
He does.
And a lot of potential. And I think with the Falcons, with how explosive their offense can be, to have that type of explosiveness on the defensive side of the ball as well, I think it's a good opportunity to build and make that team even better.
He flashes. I have his little overview again. If you don't know my my draft guides, they're on my Twitter pinned link. He reminds me a lot of Kyle Van Noy. 3-4 outside linebacker, not really a traditional defensive end, just because he's 6'2", 247. He's a little more of a linebacker build. My biggest problem with him is he's so inconsistent. It's so frustrating. And he plays too high, which is weird because he's 6'2". He has a lot of things he still has to work on as being a pass rusher. Now in coverage, he's actually pretty good in coverage. That's one thing about the Falcons I worry is, does he fit their scheme? Does he fit? They run more of a 4-3, but hey, I think it's a fair pick. Bears go and get Caleb Williams a weapon. I thought about going tackle here. Just so you know, Joe Alt fell in my draft. I don't like my draft. I want to redo it, but I didn't. So this is it. I have Rome Odunze going 9 to the Bears. I think Allen, Moore, Odunze would just be absolutely disgusting.
I was thinking about it, and I really think with how deep this receiving class is, I think you can get guys. I don't know when their second round pick is, but I think you can maybe land, Keon Coleman or someone in that regard. Somewhat. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Similar, build to Odunze, right?
Coleman is the big physical guy, but he has some problems with speed.
And if you make that your wide receiver 3, maybe they don't want to put him next to Keenan Allen.
I'll say this, Coleman's going to be somewhere in probably 35 to 42 on my board. I have him in the second round. Grade. Keon Coleman. So
and maybe the Bears land there. But anyways, I had Fashanu to the Bears. I think they really want to protect Caleb Williams. And with a team that can be really explosive, that could be, we don't know, you're going to have that offensive lineman protection.
Fashanu seems to be falling a little bit. When the draft process first started, he was kind of in that top 10, and now he's kind of fallen to the middle of the first round.
I've seen that.
Which is kind of where he fell for me. But he's still a really good, he's still a heck of a football player. Like, I'm not knocking the guy. Right now, he sits in between Jerzon Newton and Nate Wiggins on my board. But I also am very high on Nate Wiggins. Get to him in a second. At 10 to the Jets, I think I know you had here. I had Cooper DeJean. I had struggled with picking who I wanted, so I got the white corner. I think it'd be funny. I think it's funny because you
Sure.
don't get to meet them anymore. And he could move to safety for them, but I think he's just a chess piece in that secondary. And I think they just kind of adding a luxury to an already good team. They've addressed offensive line with Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith. Imagine that, Chase, a team addressing their needs using player acquisition. But I have DeJean. I like him. He's not my number one. He's my number 2 behind Mitchell. Mitchell's my number 1. DeJean falls just after Newton here. He's probably going to be somewhere between 14 and 11 on my board.
Yeah, actually, I have DeJean as my fourth corner going. But for the Jets, I have Roma Dunze.
That's fair. I've got the Vikings. And I think the Vikings, they traded up to 23. I think they're doing that to move into the top 3. I think they're going to entice New England or Washington to trade out for their quarterback. But I didn't do that here. So we're going to do 2 more mocks before the draft. I have Penix just kind of sitting there for him. And so I think that makes a lot of sense. Penix is a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So I think we went a little bit different routes, and I'll tell you when we get to their later pick in the first round on why. But I have them going Byron Murphy here.
That's fair.
A lot of talent in that guy. And
you don't answer this question. Did you have them taking Bo Nix? I swear that'd be interesting. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. The Broncos, they need everything.
Mm-hmm.
They need everything.
Take your pick. You're right.
I did not take quarterback though.
I did not either.
I took the Kool-Aid. Now, he is my last corner in my first round grades. So he is not my number 1, 2, or 3. But I think Denver would like him. I think he plays a lot like Pat Surtain, where it's more on the polish than the athletic traits. I think he fits that.
We were a little similar here, but he's on my board, and I have him going Kenyon Mitchell.
That's fair. 13 to the Raiders. They happily sprint their pick up to be Joe Alt, and they don't really need a tackle, but I think the value here is just too good to pass up. Maybe kick someone into guard, but Alt is just such a good tackle. He's not going to go here. He's going to go top 7 or 8, but in my draft, in my opinion, there wasn't a good place to put him.
Sure. Yeah, no, I had them going tackle, actually, but to the right side of the line where it needs more help than the left side, and I have them going Fuaga.
Yep, that's, again, Saints, I think interesting that interior could be interesting. I mean, they did draft Brian Brazil last year, but I think they go back to it. And they draft Jerzon Newton from Illinois. I have him over Byron Murphy because Murphy is undersized. Newton is to a degree, but Newton is a little bit bigger, and he's not that much less explosive than Murphy's, which is very impressive.
Sure. Yeah, I had them going Fautanu.
I think it's Fautanu.
Fautanu,
but
out of Washington.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think the Saints could use. We looked before, and there's potential, worries in the offensive line.
Yeah,
and I think it's a good time just to make a safe pick.
I think the Colts want to add a weapon. I think they go Brian Thomas. It's a little bit high for him. I have him at 20 on my board right now. He's a really good receiver. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, but he's a little bit more on the potential than he is the production. But I think pairing him with Michael Pittman for Richardson to throw the ball to would be nasty.
I agree.
So who'd you go with?
I had them going with Terrion Arnold, though.
That's fair. I'm probably gonna say that a lot. That's no arguments here.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Seahawks going Talise Fuaga. I think that he actually could kick into guard, and that makes some sense for what they would need. And I think they kick him into guard. But I think, be one of those kind of guys that swings a little bit to tackle guard, but I think they start him there.
I had them going Jared Verse.
Interesting.
Seattle going Jared Verse.
Here's the first one where you may go, ooh, interesting. The Jacksonville Jaguars have lost some receivers, right? And they need a weapon. They need someone fun. They need someone explosive. They need a guy that set the combine record for the 40-yard dash. I have them going Xavier Worthy. The reason being, I think they want to add some speed and explosiveness to that offense. That's kind of mundane right now, I feel like. Just a lot of bodies. Kirk, Davis, Zay Jones. They need a guy that takes the top off. They need a guy that just burns that defense up top. And I think that's Worthy.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Might be a reach.
He's gonna be my number 1 player in the second round. Over Dallas Turner, because the speed is just so there. But I could not. To me, first round grade is number 1 receivers, elite of the elite, and I don't know if I could put him elite of the elite first round number 1. You have
similar, but on the opposite side of the ball. I'm going Nate Wiggins.
Okay, well, so my next pick's Wiggins. So I have the Bengals going Wiggins.
Okay,
I want to talk about this guy. This guy is a fun corner. He's small. He is not that big of a guy. If you haven't seen him play, he is not that big of a player, but he plays so just fast. He is a lot of fun to watch. I'm trying to get to my guide here about him. I have him as Jack Jones in my comp. He is 6'1", but he's 173. It's a very light corner. But I love how he plays football. He's aggressive. He plays zone, plays man, 4.28 speed, which if you're gonna be undersized, you better run pretty dang fast. He
I
just
agree.
plays fast. He plays hard. He's got that dog mentality that you want to see. The concern is he'll be Emmanuel Forbes, where he just gets knocked around. But I think he plays faster than Forbes did.
Sure.
Forbes tried to play like he was 200 pounds. Wiggins understands I'm small, and it's fun to watch him tackle because he doesn't have any technique. I have it right here. He looks like a torpedo when he tackles. But he is just a lot of fun to watch.
Could be a good thing, though. Could be a good thing.
He's just a lot of fun to watch. And I think that the Bengals would love to add him to play corner.
So here is where, for me, Brock Bowers fell.
Okay.
The
Wow.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Holy. That would be a lot of fun.
I think that would be a really, really good pick. I think the Bengals, potential losing T, and they're going to really need to add a very talented receiver, tight end, whatever.
Yeah.
I think Bowers might be a better prospect than Pitts was, and it certainly is possible.
Okay, because he's a better blocker, it's possible. But Pitts is more athletic,
Sure.
more explosive.
But we'll
than
see who's
Bowers
more
was.
productive. And Bowers has all the potential.
To be fair, if we're going to see how productive they are, then let's give Bowers to the Steelers and let him be with Arthur Smith. And let's see how he
Sure.
utilizes him
That's
there.
fair. I guess if Bowers does go to Cincinnati, he'll have Burrow, and he'll be the second target if T doesn't, if T leaves, and
Right.
not as much worry on him with Jamar Chase being on the field. But who'd you have for the Rams?
Rams at 19, Dallas Turner. I think he fits the defense. I think that you want to add a defensive line. I think this is where Byron Murphy could go, though, now that Donald retired. Murphy or Newton, if
I like
either of them
that.
fall.
Yeah.
So I want to stress that, but I had Turner going to them. You went?
Cooper DeJean,
Fallen here. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
my fourth corner off the board.
Steelers go Olu Fashanu. I think him and I'm gonna forget the guy they drafted last year from Georgia.
Oh,
I'm blanking. The tackle,
Broderick.
Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
I think both of them are that power, just raw. We're gonna put you in the ground, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think they both fit that. I think you find your bookends to protect whoever the hell's playing quarterback for him.
Sure.
Which we didn't talk about it. Russell Wilson, Steelers country. Let's steal. That's the new slogan. And then Justin Fields. Two. I mean, they're throwing them both.
I mean,
at
the
wall.
Steelers did the right thing. If you're going to get Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick, which could be a 4th-round pick, whatever.
They are throwing them
Might
both.
as well.
They're throwing them both at the wall. 2 eggs at the wall and hoping one of them freaking sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fair.
J.C. Latham.
That's fair. He's a guy kicking the guard.
Mm-hmm.
I have Byron Murphy at 21 to the Dolphins. They had some injuries on that defensive line. I think they could want to add somebody there. I think that interior makes some sense.
I had a guy that I really wanted the Cowboys to draft. I really wanted us to draft him, but I think the Dolphins can't pass him up, and I think I had them going Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah. Eagles, they need corner. Best corner on my board that was still available was Terry Arnold. So I think that's who you go with there.
This is such an Eagles pick to me. That's why I think they're going to go with this. Brian Thomas Jr.
So Arnold and
Receiver is something that they could need.
yeah,
I know they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith right now, but there's a lot of talks of, A.J. Brown not being happy and whatever, right?
talks. You can see it.
Yeah. So Brian Thomas Jr.
That's fair. With Arnold, I want to stress this about him and McKinstry. They're two different players. McKinstry is a polish, technique, just knows the nuances of being a corner, but he's not as athletic as you'd like, potentially. Arnold is the athletic marvel, but he lacks some of the polish, right?
Yeah.
So they're the yin and the yang, and so it's kind of which one do you want? But I think Arnold goes here. Vikings sit with that pick. They go Troy Fautanu. Add a tackle to whoever the hell's playing quarterback for him, which I have Penix, it being him. But plus, Fautanu could play right tackle. And as we know, Penix is what? Penix is a left-hander, meaning his right tackle's his blind side. Who did you have at 23?
Remember I said that, I had them going Byron Murphy first pick with number 11? Because I have them going Bo Nix at 23.
Yeah, you did it. You son of a...
I have them going Bo Nix at 23.
Oh, that's just so bad.
Not saying he's first-round talent.
No,
I'm not saying that. I don't think J.J. McCarthy's top first-round talent. But I think that they will go one of Penix or Nix, and I have them going Nix.
I don't think Spencer Rattler is that much worse than Nix. We talked about this before the show. It's my new hot take coming into the draft. It's my first one. It's really just like, whoa. I don't think there's much drop-off between Nix and Spencer Rattler. They're both third-round quarterbacks to me. Then you got the Dallas Cowboys. I have Jackson Powers Johnson. I
love it. I would love it.
I could not click that blue button. Now, I know that some people would be mad that we did pass on Latu. I don't think he fits as well here simply because his run defense is suspect. And that would piss a lot of people here off. But if we picked him, we picked Barton, we picked Verse, I'd be very happy with either of those guys.
You're right, and I have neither of them going to our squad.
But let me guess. I get one guess. Is it Mitchell?
It is Adonai Mitchell. I would love if we went AD Mitchell. I think he just fits this Cowboy scheme so perfectly.
He is your pet cat, so
Yes.
I understand.
I would love it. I would love AD Mitchell.
Packers.
And I think it's reasonable.
Yeah,
I think
it
it
is.
really could.
Packers go Jared Verse because harass that new quarterback in Chicago. Why not?
Yeah. I have them going Jerzon Newton.
That's fair. Bucks need help. Everyone on the offensive line. So I have them going Graham Barton, another guy I'd love for the Cowboys to draft.
Sure.
By the way, there's a play. I have it bookmarked on my somewhere. I think it's on my notes. Go watch the game against Florida State, Barton. He puts Jared Verse in the ground like not nice. Like he killed him. It was. I'll show it to you afterwards. It was nasty what he did to that man.
But I have the Buccaneers. A lot of positions, a lot of things they need to fill. But I have them going Laiatu Latu.
So they have their quarterbacks. I think protecting him would be priority number one.
Sure.
I have the Cardinals going Latu. He's the best edge rusher in the class. He's the best pass rusher in the class. Verse is probably the better of the two. Simply, Latu's the better edge because he's a better pass rusher, and it's a pass league. But Verse is better, a little more balanced because he's better on the run. He's better on the run game. Sure. But Latu's a hell of a pass. This dude is just Him and Parsons would be a gold jacket duo. They would be a lot of fun to watch if he comes here. Another edge, a little run on edges here. I have Chop Robinson to the Bills, and not because he's a second round player.
Oh wait, real quickly.
Oh,
my Cardinals pick.
Oh, sorry, I did it again.
You're fine. It was the first time.
Oh well, I did it last year all the time.
Yeah, sure. Cool history. The Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I had to go first round. Had to fill him in there somewhere.
Chop Robinson to the Bills. I think that they would like to add edge. I think he's got a lot of tools. I think he fits. Chop.
Sure. Speaking of Chop, I'm just going to go in to two picks here because I have Chop Robinson going to the Lions at 29.
Okay.
But I have Amarius Mims to the Bills.
I've got Mike Sanders still going to the Lions. I think he fits their play style. They lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, wait.
Yeah, CJ Gardner. Yeah, he went to the Eagles.
Yeah. The talker, that dude. He fits that role. That kind of nickel safety corner hybrid that plays hard, plays fast, goes after the football. He's perfect for them.
Sure.
Like this is the number. If you told me you had to bet money that one of these picks is going to be this, I'd bet money they pick Mike Sanders still. I think he fits so perfectly to that team, what they want to do.
I'm going to bet on the Bears taking Caleb Williams.
Well, advocate. I mean, like in like these kind of picks.
Sure. I know. I like it.
And so Ravens, I have Ravens going AD Mitchell.
Okay.
I think they just would love to add him with Zay Flowers. Be a nasty 1-2. You got the tall, physical guy. I just think it's funny that you know what Adonai means, right? I think it's Hebrew or something for God.
Yeah.
His parents named him God Mitchell.
You're correct. That is it.
The ego. I mean, got to give props, I guess. Sure.
I have them going with 80s sidekick or whatever.
Worthy.
I have them going Worthy. I know Zay Flowers, you have two smaller guys out there, but the way the Ravens just play football.
Lamar and Henry and those guys, it's a fun offense.
Yeah. And also they're potentially going to be adding Michael Gallup, so that brings size. So getting, Worthy more speeder on the
Niners go Latham. I think they need to add a tackle, and Latham's a guy that could play guard. He plays like a guard at tackle. So I think that that makes sense.
I have Graham Barton.
And then I have Mims going to the Chiefs.
And I have Tyler Guyton. So we're on the same page.
Same page on positions. So there's your mock draft 2.0. Thank you guys for listening. And we will talk to you guys next week when it is opening day eve.
Well, no, we'll be back Wednesday. It's Thursday today.
We'll be back Wednesday. Oh, yeah, I'm not recording on opening day.
Yeah.
You can forget about that. We'll be back on the normal schedule next week. Sorry for the late episode, but hey, we got one to you guys. So we will talk to you guys next Wednesday where it is opening day eve.
Have a great night.
Yep.